So in this whiteboard session, I want to talk about kind of one of the epitomes of what a marketing technologist can do, which is combine a lot of different technologies and a lot of different combination of development and using marketing automation platforms as well as specific vendors to come up with ways to do marketing more effective, not just more efficiently. So what this is how to assign remarketing pixels based on an actual marketing automation platform database. And the big pieces in this is you have an actual landing page with dynamic content, and then you do the actual computations within your marketing automation platform, and then you dynamically assign an actual iframe to specific visitors based on their lead values within the lead database. And then you can latch this into an actual remarketing vendor and have not just remarketing to anyone who visited any page, but actually do the logic within your marketing automation platform to assign specific remarketing campaigns that are more effective and more tailored to what individuals should be receiving. So the first piece is you have a landing page with dynamic content. This can be either server-side or through JavaScript. But what this does is it's an invisible, in this corner here, this red box, is an invisible iframe. And on the landing page, you have this iframe actually serve up based on this computation in the marketing automation platform, which iframe you want to show for a person. And that's how you actually tag individuals and latch into remarketing vendors. So within this landing page, this iframe is entirely invisible. It's off screen, but it actually registers a hit. And the pieces of the iframe is it has a unique URL, which can't be visited publicly, but it's only within this specific box. And this is only served up dynamically based on what's most appropriate from your marketing automation. So it has a unique URL, and then within this bare bones HTML document, it has a remarketing pixel for the vendor that you're using, and it's also, as I said, invisible. So what you do is a lead comes in, they fill out a form, and then you run through some logic in your marketing automation to determine what will be the best campaign for this individual. The easy one is qualified leads only, which is demographically qualified. If they came to you begging to do business, they could actually afford and are a good fit, and you can succeed together because they're a qualified prospect. So that's the easy way, one of the basic ways to say that I want to use my remarketing money more effectively, which is I only want to have 100% demographically qualified prospects. And then you can get into the more complicated and more advanced, which is actually computing your profiling and where you want to place people. So you can do things like buyer stage profiling, you can do buyer persona profiling, you can do pain point and product interest profiling. And all of these based on the computation, and then serving up an iframe based on this lead's value for remarketing campaign is group 1. And then you say, all right, if this individual came in, filled out a landing page form, he's cookied, and then we say his value is group 1 for remarketing. Then we have the actual iframe. All the logic says, okay, this is the actual lead value. Therefore, we're going to serve specific iframe with URL remark, for example, underscore group 1. So because this is a hidden iframe, this individual actually, technically, as far as a remarketing vendor is concerned, went to this specific page, even though this is an invisible computed actual field served up dynamically. And then from this latches into your remarketing vendor, and you say anyone who visited this specific URL, which is remark underscore group 1, gets this specific display ad that we want to promote to them. And some things to consider here is that normally in remarketing, as it's come in and been integrated with marketing automation platforms, it can't really get to this level of computed complexity. It's just kind of anyone who's in your database, and then you can add your own segmentations on top of it. But this way you can actually use any remarketing vendor and not just the ones who have product integrations, and you can do self-service platforms. A consideration here, which is a big one, is an actual sample size threshold. So a lot of remarketing campaigns have a certain sample size that you have to get to before they actually trigger serving up the remarketing campaigns to individuals. So in most cases, it's 1,000 individuals, and that's really where you determine which campaign do we want to do, which segmentation of our database should we actually serve up separate campaigns and separate ads to. So if you have, for example, based in 90 days, you get 1,000 qualified leads on your site who can be retargeted to and are cookied, then you would say, okay, now we're just going to send up an only qualified campaign, so because that's as specific as you can get while remarketing still actually runs. And this would be, for example, usually the most successful things that we usually find is that someone's come in and then you can just kind of pop your name somewhere else, and that actually triggers people to be more interested and remember your name and be more receptive to the emails when you actually send them. So that could be, for example, a demo qualification, a demo campaign saying request an actual demo, request a trial, here it is, we're going to show up on all of your, not only on your separate display pages, not just on random websites, but also through working with a remarketing vendor, you can show up in social profiles as well. So you can say, Facebook and Twitter, you will also see me, and it won't just be on your desktop because of the integrations that are happening right now. So in first case, if you only have 1,000 leads of throughput in your last 9 months, then you should do this first one. But then you get into when you have a larger volume of people visiting your site, and you have, for example, 1,000 people in profile A, and 1,000 people in B, and 1,000 people in C, then you can get into more specific actual multi-channel nurture. And then you can say, all right, we have 3 separate products, and we want to say anyone who has shown interest based on their web activity and the profiling programs that we have running, anyone who has shown interest in product 2 will get specific campaigns promoting their specific interest. And that's a more targeted way to use an actual self-service remarketing vendor to have a more targeted approach of multi-channel nurture. And then at a certain sample size, which is a large amount of throughput for the last 3 months, cookied individuals, then you can actually group this into a recommendation engine and say, specifically, you have downloaded this before, so we're not going to show that, and you are in a research stage, so we're going to show you a research piece of content that is very specifically targeted to what you are interested in and where we want you to go. And then you can actually grow this out to have as many specific campaigns as makes sense, so long as you have a sample size of 1,000 on each of your specific campaigns. So you have the landing page, and then there's this iframe here, and you have computations in your marketing automation platform based on whatever makes the most sense for you. And then this shows up the actual iframe with a unique URL for every cohort that you want to market to and have a separate remarketing campaign. And then you can just go through and fill out your specific campaigns in your vendor. So you can just say, following a certain nomenclature, which in this situation is remark underscore, you can do group 2, group all the way through whatever you want, and then create the actual creative and promoted tweets and promoted posts to have a comprehensive and scalable based on, you can do a minimum viable product of you want to try it out, so you only do qualified at first, and then you say this really worked, therefore we're going to invest some more time, and we have the actual traffic volume to say we're going to go into these more specific and more tailored multi-channel nurture campaigns.